Welcome back, everybody, to another game of chess. Alright, and we got a game. We're playing as black. We got e4 on the board. We have not been playing very well. Hopefully we can turn things around. We're going to open with Caro Kann. We've been getting a lot of this lately. I think maybe even like the last 3 games have been, if they push here, we got an advance, and then there we go. I'm pretty sure we've played this quite a few times. Hopefully we'll be able to learn from our mistakes. Unfortunately, some of the mistakes we've been making are of our, I was going to say of the mind, but the whole thing is of the mind, but some of the mistakes we've been making have been ones of, what's the word, not neglect, something though. Van der Waal attack. Okay, so it's not a short variation, which we were getting quite a bit. I'm just going to go ahead and complete this little pyramid and open up my bishop. And eventually this will come. Put our knight there. And just go as we go. One of, not a distraction, what's the word I'm looking for here? We just weren't paying attention. Trying to hit us with some sort of, yeah, I think this is the main line of the Van der Waal attack. It's kind of like the tall variation where they're going to try to trap my bishop. It's kind of, I want to say this is better, but I feel like this makes more sense to me. I guess, maybe if we start to advance on this side, our opponent will probably castle, and we can try to castle too. One of absent-mindedness, maybe that's the word I'm looking for, hanging pieces, like what is the flaw in our playing, in our thinking. Okay, so relatively standard, I think. I can also go here to trade off, maybe. It does make me nervous, but I mean, this is where it gets tricky, because I feel like this pawn push, and I've said this in other games too, that this pawn push feels like part of the philosophy of the Caro Kann, and so I end up making that move often. Okay, and they're going for the trap. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to h5. Oops. That could have been bad. That could have been bad. So yeah, what I'm thinking, go here and put the pressure. Okay. We end up just closing up. That's fine. I'm gonna develop. And they develop over here. Push, they may take and take. If we can get our knight here, that's technically an outpost. So that might be something we'll try to do in the future. Okay, interesting. Okay, so hang on. I was gonna move here, but then there's this. And then I don't know if there's either this or this. Yeah, I think this is the one. Can't really block this way. I think they can block this way. Still protecting their knight there. And then if we take. They can take. We can take. Then I don't know, maybe bishop out. If we got the knight right there, maybe all of that. Does that all make sense? I feel like it is part of, again, like the philosophy or the main ideas that we're concerned with. Van der Waal attack. Van der Vel? Van der Vel? Whew. What else could happen? I mean, this could still technically happen, I guess. In which case, I don't know, maybe I would take... Maybe, no, actually I couldn't, because if they took with the bishop, it'd be attacking our queen. So that's probably the wrong idea. But yeah, in terms of pressure here, but yeah, I'm anticipating this, and I move here, then they move here, then I would take, and they would either take one of two ways. If they... Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that way. Now if here, this, now if that, then this. So that's something. Something. I also kind of want to do this, actually. Maybe I would do that first. Okay. That is fine. I'm gonna go here. Now I'm anticipating here. I thought of this for a second, this kind of sacrifice, and I'll have a pin going like that, and some pressure like this, and I can still get this out, and then eventually do this. Yeah, I think that's all. All pretty good. Actually, no, that doesn't make any sense. See, good thing I looked a split second longer. So I'm thinking of this actually now. This is actually also looks kind of decent. Because I don't think you could protect this knight. And then when you get out of the way, I'm attacking here. Ooh, actually there's this. Didn't think of that. Maybe this. No, because now they can still block and attacking our queen. We can't take there, we can't take here, because the pawn is now also protecting. So that is annoying. This still hits with check. So maybe I can still take if I want, but I don't know if I want to at this point. Okay, that's interesting. Is interesting. Let's finish developing. I feel like our opponent missed this idea. The philosophy that knights on the rim are dim or grim. I feel like might have been playing against them in that regard. I'm thinking if I get my knight out and they take and then I go here, I'm putting pressure here again. Now both sides, their queen side and their king side are pretty weak. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clear this out. Oh, actually, I don't think I need to take that right away. I can maybe even take here. I might move here and then I can take. Maybe that's not quicker, but more efficient, more forcing a line. Goes here, then here, and then here. And I have ideas. I can move out. Alright, I think we're about to start really cracking into our opponent's territory. Their pawns are pretty overextended. This pawn, these pawns, there isn't anywhere for our king, our opponent's king to go. They severely weaken this square, which is a fork over here and here. And then depending on, then I could hop into here because it's being protected by that bishop. There are only so many places also for our opponent's queen to go. But this is going to be a check. You can pick up this rook. Our opponent has no clear line of attack on our king, so it's fine. We've still got plenty of pawns in our way. This knight is... Oh, actually I did not pay attention there. Man, silly me. Oh, being silly. Just made a silly mistake. Yep, there it goes. Okay, dang it. Being dumb. Making dumb moves. Okay, hang on. Let's see. We can force them over here. Here, then here. If we're able to get over here, we can maybe pick up this pawn, but making dumb moves. We don't need a castle still quite yet. Yeah, let's just get rid of this knight. Thinking of moving the rook to this file, then maybe castling. Maybe if I have to, I can reroute my bishop this way too. We'll see. Okay, that's interesting. That is interesting. Let's make this developing move. Well, we made a similar mistake that we made before. Let's go back. And it was all very promising. Thinking that this would be something fancy and tricky. Yeah, maybe taking earlier there. I know they could have taken back. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so here, then here, then here. Yeah, I don't know, maybe just back or something. Depending on what our opponent would do. But yeah, unfortunate. But we gotta live. Man, I don't think I've been able to play a game on this channel without blundering, in some way or another. Yeah, it's tough. We gotta wait for our opponent. Let's see. Yeah, I want a castle soon. Maybe I'll push here if they push this way, but yeah. I mean, luckily their bishop isn't doing a whole lot and hasn't been the whole game, and maybe if we can... Interesting. Okay. Could have been a waste of a tempo, honestly. What can we do? What can we do? Can we do anything? Is there any way to take advantage? Is there an advantage anywhere? So if we were to castle and they were to push, and we pushed, and then they took, and they took... I have a king, rook, they have a pawn here. Hang on, let's get rid of all this. King and rook. This file. Has this here. Oh, I'm over here talking about backwards pawns and stuff. Yeah, what can we do? What can we do? We're down a whole minor piece. Ay, ay, ay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, so that if I castle, they can't push. We'll wait to see if our opponent makes a bad move. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if there was anything better for me there, honestly. Now let's see if you take the queen, if I take here. Yeah. No, we're just trading. Everybody's just trading places. Take, and if I moved up, I can see them moving up here. If I'd just be trading so much. I want to move here. I mean, I feel like this would just be a little bit better. Yeah, let's... So if they were to take, we get a pawn back. If, we could keep the pressure up that way. And then yeah, eventually we'll castle. We'll castle here soon. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's go ahead and castle. Okay, so yeah, if they were to push, yeah, maybe we could take, maybe we just move here, then here, then here. And then obviously if they were to take here, I don't know, we could go like that. It'd be devastating. Quite devastating. Maybe not quite devastating, but you know, they just have to move here. And then yeah, maybe I'd move here. I don't know if I could sacrifice anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, now this, they probably develop like that. We can still maybe even develop, we could still probably develop like this for tempo. We could actually maybe try to develop like this. And then they would, as long as they go over here or here. Yeah, let's hit him with a check. Man, it's so disappointing when you makes the game so much harder. So yeah, I'll probably take soon. I'd probably move here, gain a tempo on the queen, and maybe this would become available to me. So yeah, let's go here. So yeah, either maybe even here, or here. Cause yeah, depending on where our opponent goes, here. And you know, if they go any of these spots. I don't know if we can figure this out. You know, tough nut to crack. Where can our opponent go? So he can go here, here. Are those the only safe squares for our opponent? I think so. Hooey. But then what? Here or here? Yeah, so there they go. And I mean, if we went here, go here, 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 or here. I don't really know if we've gained anything, to be honest. It's like maybe we would double up like this. But I mean, we can't really do anything here. I don't know. Let's make this move first. I'm contemplating this move next to dislodge this bishop. You have to go back. If they went all the way back, disconnect there. Depending on how far back they go, I can go here. Okay. Oh, yeah, I think I might be winning the queen. Okay, so we're making a comeback. We're making a comeback. I mean, we're rated almost 100 points more than this person, and I mean, we've been falling so much that, you know, our opponent is giving us chances, and it's actually kind of instructional. You know, you make a miscalculation in like the late opening stage or mid opening stage, you're able to make up for it a little bit with solid, you know, middle game tactics. But I don't know. We'll see. I might also be talking out of my butt here at the moment. Right now, I don't see a good infiltration for our opponent. Thankfully, we'd have to like go all sorts of crazy to get to us. Only, you know, a few places for our opponent to put their bishop. We are going to park our knight here, or our rook here. And you know, that's a skewer, that's a pin. We'll be able to pick up the queen. Solid, okay. You know, I think we won only like one in our last 10 games, and that's going back quite a bit on this account. So, I am just happy. I will be happy to get a win if we can. Okay. Anything tricky? Anything particularly tricky? Alright, so we picked up that uh, that piece back. So if here, then here. Anything else? Anything we can do? The thing that we really want is to win the queen. Is that doable? If I were to move here, they blocked like this. So we're down a pawn again. Okay, hang on. Here, here, here. If this does open up, that might be checkmate. So let's go ahead. Now if here, that's a whole other ball game. I might be able to do this then. Yeah. Okay, I think they kind of delayed the inevitable there a little bit. They're losing quite a bit of time, and I'm losing quite a bit of voice. My voice? Hello? Hello? Okay, but we're making our comeback. What can our opponent do? They can't move any of those, so they have this is the safe square. Okay. So yeah, what was I think no, it's not checkmate yet. Yet. I had miscalculated here, so I thought here, then here, then here, but then they can block like this. So it's not fully checkmate. I was thinking of here, but now they can escape any of those, and I can't really pick anything else up. Or yeah, this would have to go all the way over here. Okay, hang on. Let's work that out. So here, here. Okay, no, hang on. Let's do here. We've got here, here, or here. This one's the worst one, I think, because check here, and now you can't block this way. You wouldn't be able to block that way with if you were here either. So hang on, let's here. Okay, so here, here. That's a check, so they have to take. And this piece is actually under attack too. I might have thought this was better than it was. I could actually maybe here, you know, if they relinquish, or if not, then I would take. Then, depending on where this pawn actually ends up, I should attack it from behind and then maybe move my king out. I think this is what makes the most sense at the moment, unfortunately. And then, yeah, let's get our king out to help protect this. Okay, that's interesting. Didn't quite see that coming. Okay. Oh, that actually makes things a lot more difficult for me. Part of me is thinking here now, because this pawn majority is actually gonna be quite a pain. And I was just thinking if I were to take with the rook and then move here, then try to attack it from behind, it's easy enough for our opponent to just slide over and attack this rook. So move here, you can move here. Man. It's tough. Yeah, I really don't want to relinquish my firepower at this point. I also don't want to relinquish the open files, man. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Okay, hang on. If we are in the box, we would be able to get there in time. Let's just start making the moves now. Getting our king involved. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's try to get in the way. We still got the time advantage. If I want to pick up a pawn, that should become available to me either way. Okay, interesting. Hopefully I'm not misguided. I should actually have probably moved here just to get the opposition. That was probably my better move. I guess it's still somewhat available. Opposition. And we can maybe start picking up pawns. Maybe. Still very close. Very tough game here. Alright. You know, say they can go here. Maybe I would go here. Okay. Yeah, we gotta stay active. We can pick up these. Our opponent is running low on time. We have a passed pawn now. Okay. I'm not afraid of losing this at the moment. Okay, hang on. I was thinking of moving here. Because here. Yeah, I don't know. Here, 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 here. Or should I also just start maybe pushing myself? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're pretty close, honestly. Let's see what happens. Be curious. Curious to see what happens here. Okay, so that's a bit of an issue. Here, 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 or here. Here, here. If here, 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 here. If they don't pay attention, I can get them in a checkmate. Maybe I can even get them in a perpetual. Our opponent is under a minute. They are dangerously close to queening, but I feel like with the time pressure... Okay, that's interesting. Let's go here. If they go here... Alright, I think I win. There you go. Good show. Good game to our opponent. Whew. Oh, I mean, we... Okay, so Caro Kann, Van der Vel attack. We blundered a knight kind of in that opening stage. Bit of a war of attrition. Our opponent blundered their bishop on c5. I think that's where, or c4 or something. And we were able to take advantage. We definitely didn't play great, but we were able to keep it together and squeeze out a win. So good for us. So real quick, Van der Velde attack. Caro Kann. e4, c6, d4, d5, e5. So advance. We get the bishop out to f5. Then they get their knight out to c3. We close up the center with e6. And how many moves is that? So e4, c6, d4, d5, e5, knight to f5, knight to c3, close it up with e6, and then yeah, I think our opponent played the main line, which was what was that, g4, and then so that's the fifth move, and then we go play back to g6. Whew, I think that's the first 5 moves. Let's get into the analysis and kind of pick it apart a little more. Oh yeah, we mentioned Tal here. Only had 3 fingers. Crazy. Okay, so 77, kind of in line with how we normally play. We're a C student. Just looking at this, all over the place. You can't quite. I don't know. I can't move it I can't move it all the way over to where you can actually see the rest of it. But yeah, it's like we're winning, then we're losing, then we're winning, then we're losing, and then we're winning again. Absolutely all over the place. We had a bunch of brilliant moves, which is fun, I guess. We're opening up the HTML. I don't know how I did that. I was scratching my leg, and my other hand's on the mouse. So yeah, it's decent, yeah, so 5 moves. Only 1 blunder, surprisingly. Ton of mistakes, decent amount of misses. Not that many inaccuracies, but yeah, just the blunders and the misses and the mistakes. It's giving us a 1500. Played solid at the end there. Middle game and the opening, yeah, just all sorts of whack. Okay, let's get into it. So e4, c6, d4, d5, e5, knight f5. I don't know if I was saying that right. Knight c3, e6. Yep, and it's all book. And this is our first. They had a better way to develop the knight, so that's the first deviation. So okay, this is fine. This is excellent. It's not the best, but I'll definitely take it. And then yeah, they're kind of pursuing with that the idea, the main idea of the tall, but they wasted a tempo with their knight, so my bishop isn't getting trapped. It's nice. So this move was the best move in the position. You can't see, but okay, you can see it over here, 0.3. So yeah, my advantage is growing, developing. This is all fine. I can live with good. This was great. And got the trades. This was a mistake. Okay. Better option was to pin the knight to the king. You allowed the opponent to counteract. So yeah, I think that they're talking about this. But yeah, this is better. It's actually best. So their opponent misses. I'm curious. Yep. Okay, so they missed this. We still would have been holding it together, but that was the best move in the position for our opponent. So yeah, they retreat. Our advantage is growing. We're gonna get this knight out. They're making some moves. We're making some moves. We jump in. Maybe this is a little premature. I was getting way too adventurous. Your best move was to send a rook into the game. You allow your opponent to develop a piece while also winning a tempo on a knight. So yeah, maybe it's this. Could have developed their queen, is what I'm assuming. Yeah, and eventually it's the semi-open file. I should have had that more on the radar and kept this in the back pocket. I got too excited. They develop winning that tempo, and then we blunder our knight. Let's see. There's probably plenty of other things for us to do. Let's even like experiment with this. At least it's not a blunder. We can just move back and keeping the advantage. So the last, yeah, looks like that was the best move. So yeah, a series of two moves which really affected us, and I don't. Your better option was to threaten checkmate. Um, how would one go about doing that? Oh yeah, I guess that would have been threatening checkmate, but um, alas. So forcing move. You know, we're just trying to keep it together. Backward pawn. Your backward pawn is a weakness. Your backward pawn is a weakness. Your face is a weakness. I thought about castling. Yep, no, not a great idea. This does nothing. I have no idea, honestly. So it is to move here. Maybe just move back. No. What did I end up doing? Oh, okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that soon anyway. Or they throw their knight out to get captured. They amassed a pretty decent advantage. Ugh, that's unfortunate. I was hoping that would be okay. Maintains the balance of material with a good trade. I'm ill-advised to castle at this point. I guess from a Tempe perspective, I'm not looking great. Luckily, our opponent misses something. Yeah, they just want me to capture, so it would have been in my better interest to capture, it seems. Oh, I guess if they took with the queen, I could hit him with a check earlier, if they took with the queen at any point. So, series of misses. We finally take, and they develop their bishop, which is interesting. Alright. So yeah, I think your best move was to kick the bishop. So yeah, they wanted me to do this earlier, which is what we do eventually, but... Alright, so yeah, we kick, and then they blunder. Yeah, that's fine, we're good, we're good. That was the best. Ooh, that's a miss. So yeah, the other idea is that's a miss. And then yeah, just to take. Wow, this is the only good move. This threatens an imminent checkmate. Oh, and the advantage is +5. Huh. So takes. Hang on, let's open up the thingy. Cause I was all sorts of like, this doesn't make any sense. So here, and that's a mate in 5. D3. F2. Or okay, so yeah, either way they would have to move. Okay, so if here you can't take this way. Fuck here. Dang. I didn't think that this worked. Man. Well, that's a shame, yeah. There's just a powerful checkmating tactic there. Instead, we opted for tradesies and went into this tough endgame. Rook and pawns. They moved their king to the center, and so did we. Apparently, that was no good. The best move was to activate your king by getting him off the back rank. So yeah, I think here. Okay. Eventually we get there, blocks off, we start picking off some pawns, so I'm glad that these all are saying they're decent enough moves. Okay, yeah, oh yeah, okay. It's the beginning of the end. And yeah, we just kind of looked at with our opponent making their blunder at a more ill-advised time than ours. Was that a blunder? Hang on. No, it was just a mistake, but still, dang. And 2 mistakes in a row, and that's what sealed the deal. That's how it happens. Not even blunders, just mistakes. So Caro Kann, Vondervell attack. Glad to see something different. We've had like a ton of playing as black, and haven't played as white in a while. And I'm glad we were able to break the losing streak just real quick. I want everybody, if anybody has been watching this, we've been on a horrendous uh, losing streak here, and we were almost gonna fall below 1300, but okay, it doesn't really. Oh, can you show me? Did this game get recorded? But anyway, like the last 10 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in the last 10 games, we've won 2 and drew 1. So we lost 7 games. And looking at this, we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row. Then we lost 2, drew, and finally made a win. Good game to our opponents. They kept up the pressure as well. Got to play something a little bit different. Vondervell attack. We'll catalog that and put it in the system. But other than that, we can call it a game. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.